What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Habs Tonight playoff pregame show. Habs and Leafs series tied 1-1. A massive game for this series. Before we get to our show, we got to do our dad joke of the day. And Nick, I got to ask you, why did the boy climb up the tree with a hockey stick?
I don't know. Why?
Because he wanted to be with the Maple Leafs. Welcome to the pregame show. Welcome back, guys. Well, you know something? I said that wrong because I actually should have said you wanted to join the Maple Leafs. That sounds better than be. I screwed it up.
Regardless, it's not a good decision.
No, it really wasn't a joke. It was more of an insult to Habs fans. But you know what? That's fine. We can be humble, guys, for a few seconds here. Anyway, so Nick, my friend, this series, while it is 1-1, I don't know that it really feels like it's as close as it is right now, does it?
It does not. I don't even know what it feels like. I can't describe it. There's a game that feels like it's just a regular season game, and then you've got a game that feels like playoff atmosphere. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the last game, we'll just kind of get right into it. In terms of the reffing, we'll just that's the title of our segment, is the refs.
The refs.
I understood where Dominic Ducharme was coming from to an extent, but at the same time, I mean, we all know that challenge he made was like influenced by Mark Bergevin. I think you saw Alex Burrows on like the headset thing there. Obviously not a great challenge. I mean, we're not going to get into that. I think we know that. I mean, I think everybody knew that. It really took way too long to review that goal. But in terms of blaming the refs, I just think it's a bit weak. I think it's really weak, actually, to blame the refs for a loss. And I don't think that that's fully what they were doing, but it didn't give them obviously a good enough chance to come back in that game. But I hate that whole blame the refs thing. It's like moral victories for me. I just hate them.
Like we discussed earlier, I don't think it's so much as, yeah, of course, you'll get the part of the fan base that does blame the refs. But if I'm taking it from my own opinion, it's going to be the only blaming that I'm placing is if you're going to call a specific sort of penalty or style of play, call it both ways. That was my issue with the game on Saturday night, is you saw some specific plays that we were being called for. Were they deserved? Absolutely. But if you're going to call it, like I said, call it both ways. A lot of calls went unnoticed for Toronto. So that was just my little axe to grind, if we want to say, towards the refs. If you're looking at other games throughout the league right now, a lot of these kinds of plays aren't even being called. So especially in the playoffs, the refs tend to put their whistles away and, let the game ride out. So yes, it did affect a lot of the game. We played 14 minutes on the penalty kill, which is a lot. So we dug ourselves a grave and never climbed up. So ourselves to blame, not the refs.
Yeah, and that's why I think they have to come up with another way to frustrate the Leafs other than just physicality, Nick. And that's kind of where we're going here. And I do think it's a big ask to bring in. I mean, Caufield's coming in tonight, so that we know. Tatar remains in the lineup. Stahl will be coming out. And, it's just one of those things. And Romanov remains out as well. So we'll kind of get into Romy. But just in terms of how the Habs need to convince themselves and the fans that they have a chance in this series, because right now I just feel like, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't know that we're ready. Like, the Leafs just look like they've had a few years to get ready for this moment and for this series. And we have some guys on our team that are ready. We got Weber, we got Price, we got Tatar, we've got Paulie Byron, we've got some veterans on this squad that are ready. Yeah. But not everybody is ready. I mean, it's a big ask to ask guys like Caufield and KK to really be game breakers or even difference makers of some kind in this series. So I think, other than physicality, Josh Anderson comes to mind, of course. The whole team is playing physical as a whole, but we need to do something else other than just physically try to intimidate the Leafs and try to win the battle that way. We've got to get in Jack Campbell's head. We've got to find a way to score goals, because that is a major concern. After game one, when we won, I was talking to Dale and Steffi about this, and the lack of goal scoring has been an issue all season. It's carried over into the playoffs, and I think it's really now or never to break through.
If you take a look at Jack Campbell too, he seemed very unsteady in both games. So I would like to see more shots coming on him and more shots from anywhere. Shoot from anywhere. Anything can happen. So I'm hoping that we do get more shots on net tonight. And yes, like you said, the physicality is okay. Yeah, it's important, but it's not going to win you games, right? You can't just keep hitting the whole game. It's not going to win you anything. So, like you said, hoping that we can get a little bit more offensive, I guess, if we want to put it. I think we need to see more from a lot of guys. You're taking a look at the first game where you had guys like Josh Anderson who came out hungry, and you saw it on the ice the whole first period. The second game, we didn't see him that much. So I would like to see a lot more from not only him, but a lot of guys on the team. I know Brandon Gallagher's a bit rusty from being out for several weeks, but would love to see him a lot more on the ice. I found he's been a little bit quiet. So just, I don't know. It's the playoffs. Sometimes some unsung heroes rise up like Paul Byron and all of that, but I don't know what to expect. It's been that kind of season where we have trouble stringing 2 wins together. So I'm not surprised that we dropped the last game. I wasn't expecting a win. If we keep going 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, how are you supposed to build any momentum with that, you know? So having a first good period, obviously we've been having those, but we've kind of been losing momentum and being flat for the second, and then sometimes we just don't bounce back at all. So it's just kind of unstable, and it's boring hockey to watch that way, I find.
Yeah, and I think we're due for like a high scoring game. Even if the Canadiens can't squeak out game 3 tonight, I mean, at least gets some confidence in your goal scoring. You know, Thomas Tatar, when he hits the net, like Dale was saying in the post game the other day, once he hits the net, boom, like you're going to see him get it like 2 goals a game.
He's
streaky.
Like
he's streaky, and that's what happens, right? I mean, that's just how it goes with goal scorers. It's unfortunate in that sense, but I want to kind of bring up the lineup here. I kind of was just getting it ready here, Nick, and just while we have it, might as well take a peek at it, right? So let's just go through it really quick. Paul Byron jumping up to that first line, kind of well deserved, but
well deserved.
You know, him with Deneau and Anderson, sliding Galley back down. I don't think Galley's 100%. Like if we really watch the way he's playing, he's not really full. I don't think he's at his top game right now. And again, he's still getting back into it. Mm-hmm. But Toffoli, KK, Gallagher, Armia, Suzuki, Caufield. I did notice that Suzuki and Caufield weren't together on the power play though, which I didn't really understand. I'd like to see those two on the power play together.
But those two together, even when we were looking at the last game of the season versus the Oilers, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? I love the chemistry between the both of them. So I'm hoping tonight that it's going to show on the ice. And you got that last line, I guess, that is switching since Stahl is out. So Tatar's going to feed in somewhere. I don't know.
This isn't the most
line, but
this isn't the most recent representation of what the lines could look like tonight. Mm-hmm. The last that we heard is that Tatar would be in. Yeah. So if that's the case, I mean, you have to think maybe he's going to be back with Deneau and Anderson. I don't see Tatar being effective as a fourth liner. So if that's the case, if Stahl comes out, are you bumping Kotkaniemi down to the fourth line? I think this is really not a great representation of what the forward line could look like tonight. And maybe that's Dom Ducharme just kind of trying to strategize and not give it away too much at the same time. I don't know, but
I don't see, like you say, I don't see KK being on the fourth. I think he's earned that second spot. I know we keep referencing last year in the bubble, but that was playoff KK on Saturday too, scored another goal. So he's hungry for it, and he was active on the ice on Saturday. So I would love to see him still on the second line, especially with Gallagher. Looking forward to see what that's going to bring.
Yep. And we should mention again, of course, that Romanov still hasn't had a look in this series yet. Do you think it's much longer before we see him? Because unless John Merrill has a great game tonight, I don't see how we don't see him in game 4.
No disrespect to John Merrill or anything, but I don't see the benefit of having him in the lineup when you have Romanov sitting on the side. I think Romanov can bring a lot of physicality, and especially on the power play and puck moving. Like, John Merrill's a puck moving defenseman, but in the past few games, I don't think you've seen. You can't compare to what you've seen from Romanov this season. Romanov has been way above what he's been doing. So deserving wise, I'd put Romy in. That's just my personal opinion. Again, it's nothing against Merrill, but I'm hoping that, especially like you said, if he doesn't have a killer game tonight, you have to consider at least making that swap. At least consider it.
Yeah, and Kulak's been playing a lot with Romanov in this season, so they're obviously going to go back to Sherratt and Weber, which they're comfortable with, and then Edmondson, Petrie. Like those two lines just seem like they're probably not going to change unless something goes really wrong with them. But then Kulak, Romanov, maybe tomorrow for Game 4, especially being the back-to-back.
Yeah, could see it happen a bit more.
I just think you have to. Yeah, I think I'd be shocked if we don't see Romanov in Game 4 tomorrow, but we'll talk about that in pregame tomorrow, I suppose. But other than that, I mean, the power play, Nick, like we really need to see. I mean, we need to see goals from whether it's the power play or just 5-on-5. We need to see goals from this team. But we are going to have to address the power play because the Toronto Maple Leafs have seemed to have figured out their power play again, and they have so much talent. You know that they can be lethal.
Yeah.
What do the Habs need to do?
We have trouble entering the zone and just setting up. So it's not even a matter of scoring goals. It's a matter of just setting up right now. So I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if Caufield is going to have an effect on this tonight of being able to help the guys set up, move the puck or something. I don't know what it's going to take. These guys had a week off also to prepare for this. And you get a first game where you have 5 power plays and you can't even score 1 goal on it. Obviously, if you turn around and you give 5 more power plays to Toronto, they're going to figure it out. So what's it going to take for us to figure it out? I have no answers for you. This has been a lingering issue, not only for the past few years, but this season. It's not new. I don't know. What do you think?
I just think they need to find the back of the net somewhere or another, but they do need to do it on the power play. I think at least like once, either today or tomorrow.
Just one.
They got to get one.
Set it up, get some shots in, gain some momentum off of it. Because right now we get a power play, we lose momentum. It's supposed to be the opposite. We play better on the penalty kill. I don't know if it's reverse logic in these guys' heads, but no words.
Yeah, it's been this way for too long, in other words. And it's a big ask to have Caufield come in and be a factor in this series. Like, it's just, the kid's played less than, like maybe 10 or so games in the NHL. I know he's pumped and excited and everything else, but
for sure,
this is the hardest time of the year to play hockey, period. It's the hardest hockey in the world right now is the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. And I just think it's such a big ask for a guy like him to come in and make a difference.
100%. But like you said, if there's a kid that's ready right now and he's going to put his heart out and play 110% the whole game, it's him. If he can make a difference, perfect. We saw it in the end of the regular season. He shoved them in. He made a difference. So I'm hoping he can have the same intensity tonight, do the same thing. But again, if he can't, he's not a miracle worker. He's not a savior. You know, he's going to add as much as he can. There's a chance that he won't do anything either. And some other guys have to step up. This can't be just like a 1-man team or a 2-man team like the Edmonton Oilers are right now. You need the whole team to collaborate and participate. It's as simple as that. Needs to be a team effort, right? Yep.
And that's a good way to put it. They've been exposed in Edmonton by the looks of it. I mean, who took Winnipeg? Not many people, I don't think. So you did? Oh my gosh. You're the only.
I said Peg and 6.
No, you didn't. Oh my
yes,
God.
I did.
And they might sweep, but okay. That's crazy, man. Side note, I guess. But yeah, that's where I want to end off here with our little pregame segment here is the Carey Price factor. This is the thing. And they showed that in the first game. And at the same time, though, I mean, really, the Leafs, as much as they tried to reset after the first period, I thought it was hard to reset after the rest of the game. Like for me, I was still struggling focusing on the game after the Tavares injury, just how gruesome it was, and just heartbreaking, shocking, all that stuff. So getting that game 1 victory was huge, and Carey Price was a factor. He helped to have steal that game, and then Paulie Byron's amazing shorthanded breakaway goal from his knees. But I mean, it can't just be Carey Price, guys. Like, he's not going to steal us the series. He'll steal us a game or 2, maybe, but he can't steal the series at this point. They need to get goals, and that's why we've been harping on it pretty much the entire show.
He is playing some incredible hockey right now, like he always does in the playoffs. So, of course, a healthy Carey Price will win you playoff games when you score. That is basically the title of the segment, is when you score. You know, it's not to be mean. It's not to sugarcoat it or anything. It's just the way it is. So you're seeing him jump left and right, bounce everywhere. He's making all the key saves that he needs to keep you in the game. the least you can do is put an effort back, score a few, and support the guy. It can't be one goalie, one defense, and one forward the whole game like it's been in the past few games. It needs to be a team effort. Guys need to stand up and see. You got Toronto right now who are saying, yeah, well, you know what? Let's go win it for JT. Okay, so boys, go win it for Carey.
Period. And for each other. Like,
and
you
for
got to
each
win
other,
for
yeah.
each
But
other,
if
right?
you need a specific guy to win it for, this is the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy he puts his heart and soul every single night on the line, literally, to win you a hockey game. So I would just love to see a collective effort for him. And if he's goaling the game of his life like he's been doing for the past 2 games, put the same effort in and go play the game of your life. You need to win at least one of these 2 games in Montreal. You have to. You can't afford to lose both. You can't. Obviously, it's a win both, but at least win one. Like right now, we're talking like it's not the end of the world. A lot of fans are just complaining for everything, but you got to remind yourself it's still 1-1. We came out of Toronto with 1 win, which is huge because nobody thought we would do it.
Yeah, and I guess that we're just kind of looking at reality in terms of what we expect, because we see how prepared Toronto is. We see how deep they are. They just seem like a group that's ready. So I don't know if the Canadiens are ready, but they're going to be the ones to show us. And I think Brendan Gallagher will finally be a factor in this series starting tonight and maybe tomorrow at the latest in terms of getting on the score sheet. So that's what I expect from him, but not just him. It's got to be Toffoli, it's got to be Anderson, it's got to be KK, it's got to be Corey Perry, Armia. I don't care who it is, Caufield, Paulie Byron may be playing on the first line if that actually happens. There's so many guys that have an opportunity here to step up and show we're in this series, because I think they need to make fans believe that we're still in this series. Because right now, I got to be honest, like, I'm not sure how in it we are yet.
If we keep playing like we did last game, we're not in it at all, and it's not going to go well. Period.
Yeah,
let's not sugarcoat it, but
it's like therapy talking about it, because I need to. I'm like, this has been a tough couple of days, and it's only 1-1. Like, we're not even losing in the series right now.
Imagine if it was 3-1.
I need some optimism. I want to feel optimistic that we have a chance.
Okay, so here's some optimism. I predict a 4-3 win for Montreal tonight, regular time. Toffoli, Tatar, Perry, and Petrie somehow get on the score sheet.
Ooh.
And you know what? Man. For the hell of it, Caufield too.
You got the jersey on. I mean, you got to show that. I still don't know how I feel about the 22. Like, I know I'm biased because Weissers are.
It's some Dale Weiss playoff magic jersey. I'm gonna wear
it. I know, that's such a good reason.
Only reason.
Exactly. So, all right, my friends. Well, thanks for tuning in as always, guys, to our show. Do subscribe to the Habs Tonight channel. We appreciate the support. Like the videos. We've got stuff coming up this week. Of course, we get the back-to-back games. So we got post-game tonight. Then we have pre-game and post-game tomorrow. And then on the Habs day off on Wednesday, we're going to kick We See Wednesday off with a great show during the playoffs here with Andrew Shaw coming up. So be sure to tune in for that, guys. We're going to keep plugging that throughout the week here, as you guys know, just to remind you to get on and talk with Andrew Shaw. First interview since he's retired, and it's going to be a great one. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope for post game, I'll be at work tonight, so Caufield's going to score tonight. That's going to be my
stay at work for the next 2 weeks.
I think it's finally got to happen, doesn't it? Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna laugh if it happens again. Just saying.
If we win tonight, I might have to stay home. I might have to go into work tomorrow, even when I'm off.
Please.
I don't know. We might have to talk about this anyway. But go Habs, go, guys! Thanks to Nick as always for joining me, and we can't wait to see what happens. We hope the boys can really convince us otherwise tonight. And go Habs, go! Let's bring it home, man. We're at home tonight. We're at the Bell Center. Let's get some good energy back into the series because we need it. And we'll see you guys tonight post game after the Habs hopefully pull it off.
Take care, guys.